my first fight with him, he came to me. He had a partially torn Achilles, and so that was right before his Angulo fight back in Oklahoma City. And we had about 10, 12 weeks to prepare with a partially torn Achilles. And so I did a full assessment. His balance was horrible. His foot intrinsics, so like his feet were all kind of pointing in different directions. The toes were all weird. His balance was horrible, core, everything.
I guarantee you by the time I'm finished, I'm gonna be one of the greatest fighters of all time.
So today is a special day. We just got the Ring magazine, and guess who's on the cover? It's been a long time coming, man. I've been professional now 12 years. I've been boxing 25 years. You can see all the work I've done, and I'm very happy. I'm very grateful for everything I've done in my career. I'm very grateful for my people that have been around me.
I think he is an all-time great already in here and in here. So now he just got to show it. I think he's been building the right building blocks. I think he already has one of the better resumes in boxing. And I think this is the perfect time and perfect opportunity to show people what greatness looks like and how greatness is being manufactured and how greatness is being shaped.
David Benavidez versus Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez is shaping up to be one of the biggest and most explosive fights in boxing, and everything happening behind the scenes shows just how serious both men are taking this challenge. This is not just another title fight, this is legacy on the line, pride on the line, and two elite champions preparing for war. When people talk about champions, they often only focus on fight night, but the real story begins months before, deep inside training camp. For Zurdo Ramirez, that journey started years ago when he first connected with his physical therapist, Chris Wong.
64 days to go. 10 more seconds. It's always you against yourself, baby. It's the morning session, the 6 a.m. session. So this morning we did our run, and I'm starting the sprints. I introduced them slowly to regular, and then we did incline sprints so we can get a lot more lactic acid. But it's an incline, so it's not going as fast, but still fast enough. Like see that second wind? Remember I told you? It's there. I got it up, but we got to continue that. You brought the pressure, I got to continue it. So it's important to have that wavelength and have that program set for that. And then we got to go to boxing gym after. I'm going to give him break 3-4 hours, and then sleep, get some food in you, rest, a lot of water. Fascia system needs hydration. So I got to make sure he keeps drinking. Drink that water.
I know there's a lot of things that we could accomplish, and there's a lot of things that we could give back, not only to our people, but to our community. You know what I mean? We got a lot of fighters here. One of our friends painted this. He goes to the first Benavidez boxing gym, the one in Burien. He paints them all himself, so he's a talented brother. So but yeah, this is my dad's design, you know what I mean? This is actually my first time, starting training camp here in this gym.
I hear a lot of love there, man.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So this is like blood, this is more than just boxing.
It kind of puts me into that place of relaxation. So when I come here to the gym, all my thoughts are in line, and I know exactly what I need to work on.
Chris revealed that when he first worked with Zurdo nearly 5 years ago, the situation was far from ideal. Right before the Angulo fight in Oklahoma City, Zurdo came in with a partially torn Achilles tendon. Most fighters would panic in that situation, but Zurdo was different. They had only around 10 to 12 weeks to prepare, and during the first full physical assessment, everything looked bad. His balance was poor, his feet were unstable, his toes were misaligned, and even his core strength was weak. His entire body structure looked off. It was clear that physically, he was far from perfect. But Chris quickly realized something important. Zurdo had something far more valuable than perfect physical condition. He had unmatched willpower.
Concern for the opponents, the sparring partners, but at the end of the day, we have to do it, these guys are taking a lot of punishment.
Like I said, my family keeps me motivated. My wife, my children, my father, my mother, my brothers, and just the people that support me. The type of fighter I am, I've never been
an intimidating type of guy outside the ring. Like if you see me, I'm a nice guy, you know, probably people think I won't hurt a fly. But when I get into the ring, it's a completely different story. And it's been like that since I've been a little kid. Since I was 14 years old, people would always look at me, laughing at me. When I was in the gym before a sparring session, I was like, we're gonna beat this little fat kid's you know what I mean? He's nothing. I'd get in the ring, a monster comes out. It's been like that since I was a little kid. I feel like boxing is like the best representation of life. You gotta fight for what you believe and you gotta go all in or not at all. Because if you don't go all in, you're not gonna manifest your dream.
Watching you in the gym, you're very inspiring. Seeing you work hard every day, I love it. I'm just doing it for cardio, but I see a warrior like yourself and I'm like, man, this dude's no joke, man. Keep up the great work. God bless you and your family, man. Knock everybody out. Get the belts, get the money, and get out.
His discipline, his mentality, and his work ethic were operating on a completely different level. Even while dealing with injury, he kept pushing like a world champion. Chris said what amazed him most was that Zurdo had already reached championship level despite working with physical disadvantages that would stop most fighters. That mindset is exactly why Zurdo remains one of the most dangerous men in boxing today. His power, speed, offense, and defense all work together at an elite level. He is not just strong, he is complete. On the other side stands David Benavidez, a fighter many believe is already an all-time great in the making.
Calm because I know that I've been working hard for this fight and I've been working so good and I can't wait just...
My first fight with him, he came to me, he had a partially torn Achilles. And so that was right before his Angulo fight, back in Oklahoma City. And we had about 10, 12 weeks to prepare with a partially torn Achilles. And so I did a full assessment. His balance was horrible. His foot intrinsic, so like his feet were all kind of pointing in different directions. The toes were all weird. His balance was horrible. Core, everything. He was very weak, but you know, as I got to know him, I saw that the intangibles that he had was his willpower, his ethics, his work ethics and everything was just on a whole nother level. But for him to get to that world champion level already with what he was working with was, amazing.
Benavidez recently celebrated a major personal moment when he appeared on the cover of the Ring magazine. For him, it was more than just a magazine cover, it was proof of years of sacrifice paying off. He reflected on his journey, saying he has been a professional fighter for 12 years and has dedicated 25 years of his life to boxing. Every round, every camp, every sacrifice led to that moment. He said he feels grateful not only for his career but for all the people who stood beside him through the journey. His team believes the same thing. They already see greatness inside him mentally and spiritually. Now they believe it is time for the world to fully witness it inside the ring.
It's really good.
Today Scrappy got first.
Today?
But
Man, that's an everyday thing. Today was easy. Easy day.
For sure.
I actually got first place by accident.
My son, Scrappy,
by accident.
I'm here to make a huge fight for this May 2nd. And I want to say, don't miss the fight. And Benavidez, his team, he helped me a lot for my first fight, world title fight. And I know him, we know each other, but I think it will be an exciting, super exciting fight. Pero
WBO Cruiserweight World Champion Zurdo Ramirez against El Monstruo David Benavidez, moving up to the Cruiserweight division. A fight that's been brewing for years. They've known each other for...
Benavidez's coach explained that greatness is not something that suddenly appears, it is built. It is shaped through discipline, preparation, and consistent hard work. And according to him, this is the perfect moment for David to show everyone exactly what greatness looks like. Training camp for Benavidez reflects that mentality. His mornings begin at 6 a.m. sharp with brutal sessions focused on strength, endurance, and conditioning. Under coach Cam Aaron, the work starts with runs and then transitions into incline sprints designed to increase lactic acid and push his body beyond comfort. These are not easy workouts. The goal is suffering. The goal is pressure. As his coach says, it's always you against yourself.
12 round, exciting, and we know each other and we know that it'll be a really good fight.
How surprised were you that this fight got made? Like, did it catch you by surprise?
No, because he wanted, I wanted, my team wanted, we were working on it to make it happen, and I'm happy and glad to happen right now.
When did you guys start working on it? Because to me and other fans, it came as a surprise. Like, we weren't expecting it.
Yeah, before he get the fight, I think we was working on it in this fight, and then it happened, and then he just said that it happened during his fight.
Yeah, he last fought against Yard, I believe, in November.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So did discussions start like in October to make the fight happen?
Yeah. It was like pretty quick, the discussion and the fight, the deal and everything.
There are paintings, memories, and designs connected to his father and his roots. One of his friends, a talented artist from the original Benavidez boxing gym, created artwork there himself. Every wall carries meaning. For David, this place is blood. It is more than boxing. And family is everything. Benavidez openly says that his greatest motivation comes from his wife, his children, his parents, his brothers, and the people who support him. Boxing is his passion, but family is the engine behind that passion. Outside the ring, he describes himself as calm, respectful, and far from intimidating. Most people would probably think he would not hurt a fly.
Of sparring against David?
It was pretty good, but honestly, as a fighter, I don't remember, like, I remember that I did many times sparring, but not like being in the ring, like how he moved and everything. No.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he's evolved, he's gotten better from what you remember?
Yeah, he got a lot better.
Yeah? In what areas do you feel?
Because he throw more punches, he's constantly like pushing to the guys, and I mean I just can say, like, don't miss the fight, be a great fight.
So you're expecting like toe-to-toe, like...
Yeah, I'm expecting a war.
Blood?
Yeah, everything.
Knockouts, knockdowns? Maybe, yeah.
After the morning session, there is still more to come. He gets only a few hours to recover, eat, hydrate, and rest before heading to the boxing gym for technical work. Everything is structured, everything is deliberate. Hydration is treated like a weapon. His team constantly reminds him that the fascia system needs water, the muscles need water, and recovery depends on discipline outside the gym as much as inside it. Benavidez also trains inside his own personal gym, a place that means far more than just punching bags and heavy weights. He says the gym gives him peace. It allows him to relax mentally while staying focused physically. It is where his thoughts become clear and where he reconnects with his purpose. The gym also represents family.
Like I said, my plan wasn't just to abandon the light heavyweight division. My plan was come up, grab 2 titles, come back down, and make this fight with me and Bilal even bigger. That's exactly what I want to do. You know, that my dream is to become a unified champion. So I'm already there. You know, my foot is already there, basically at the finish line. So it's smart for me to come back down. And you know, obviously a lot of people are worried about the weight, this and that. But like I tell everybody, don't worry about that. Let me worry about that. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm just trying to give you guys the best fights possible, the best fights out there. And then after that fight, when I capture the titles, I'm going and I'm fighting Benavidez. So I'm just trying to give the biggest and best fights happen to the fans. And, you know, I mean, for me and my legacy, this is really what I feel like I have to do. Nobody tells me I have to come back down. Nobody else tells me I have to go fight Zurdo Ramirez. Nobody tells me I have to fight Benavidez. But I want to do it for myself because I know the fans of boxing deserve it.
David Benavidez, however, made it clear that moving up in weight was never about abandoning light heavyweight permanently. His plan was strategic. Move up, capture 2 titles, then return to light heavyweight and make even bigger fights happen. His ultimate dream is becoming a unified champion, and he believes he is already standing at the finish line. He understands fans worry about his weight changes, but he tells everyone not to stress. That is his job. His focus is giving boxing fans the biggest and best fights possible. And after capturing titles, he wants even more. One name he specifically mentioned is Artur Beterbiev. For David, that fight represents exactly what boxing should be, monster versus monster. Two dangerous punchers colliding with everything on the line.
Unification fight. Who do you have in that fight, and would you like to fight the winner?
Like, honestly, man, it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? May the best man win, and when they do, let's get it on. You know, I don't want no excuses. You know, I want the better fighter to win. I want it to be a good fight. You know, I want them to show. I want it to be promoted and be a fucking big fight. Because when we fight, it's better for me. You know what I mean? All I'm chasing is undisputed and legacy. You know what I mean? Everything else just comes with it. But I've always said the same thing. I've never taken my eye off the goal.
Benavidez is described as the perfect come-forward counterpuncher. He pressures opponents relentlessly, traps them on the ropes, uses feints, slips, and defensive movement before unloading powerful combinations to the head and body. He is aggressive, but highly technical. His jab is sharp. His footwork is underrated. His defensive variety, whether through high guard, head movement, or positioning, is elite. And interestingly, this may be one of the first times he is not the naturally bigger man in the ring, adding a completely new challenge. Zurdo Ramirez, meanwhile, is often misunderstood. Many people label him as a simple pressure fighter, but analysts argue that at the elite level, he is actually better when boxing off the back foot. But once he steps inside the ropes, everything changes. He says that transformation has existed since childhood. Even at 14 years old, people used to laugh at him before sparring because he looked like the little fat kid who could not fight. Then the bell rang. And a monster came out. That same monster still exists today. His brother Jose Benavidez says every time David fights, he worries, not for David, but for the opponent. He knows exactly how much damage David can do and how much punishment sparring partners and opponents must absorb.
He's 48-1 with 30 KOs, and that one defeat came at the hands of Dmitry Bivol, a fight that we will be taking a close look at in this breakdown. Because when there's a blueprint to beating someone, you'd be stupid to ignore it. Now, as for David Benavidez, this is an interesting guy. I mean, I would say that this might be the most entertaining guy in world boxing right now. For me, he is the definition of a come-forward counterpuncher. He's always trying to get on the front foot, get his opponent on the ropes, do a little feint, some kind of defensive maneuver, whether it's a slip or a block with the high guard, and then get to work relentlessly to the head, to the body, with bent arm shots. I think that this guy is absolutely fantastic to watch. He truly lives up to the name the Mexican Monster, but he's not just a come-forward brawler. He's got a lot of skill and technique. He has very decent footwork. His jab is a very effective punch for him, operating out of that orthodox stance.
Against Dmitry Bivol, he showed smart defensive movement, distance control with the lead hand, and clever body attacks mixed with feints to create openings. This fight becomes a clash of identities. Pressure versus timing. Aggression versus control. Relentless offense versus calculated adaptability. Benavidez brings chaos. Zurdo brings structure. And in fights like this, the smallest details decide everything. That is what makes this matchup so special. Not just power. Not just titles. But styles. Legacies. And the question every boxing fan wants answered. When two elite champions finally collide, who truly belongs at the top?
Fight, it's one of the first times we're going to see him dramatically outsized in a contest. But I think the thing that is most outstanding about him, that is the most elite attribute that he has, for me, is his defensive variety. Whether it is most outstanding about him, that is the most elite attribute that he has, for me, is his defensive variety. Whether it's the high guard, whether it's a bit of head movement, or he moves his feet. I think that David Benavidez has just about everything to be that come-forward, pressure counterpuncher that he is today. So what is this matchup between these two guys? How do I think this is going to look? What are the key routes to victory for either man, what do I think that style will look like generally speaking? You guys know that I like to study hard, and I like to also get to the crux of what a fight is all about, and that's what I'm going to try to position here for you, what I think this all comes down to, because there's a lot of small details we can analyze, but this, if you want to just understand it on a high level, this is what it's all about. Now for me, Zurdo Ramirez, he's someone who is often mischaracterized in the media as a fighter. You see, I think because he's Mexican and because earlier on in his career, you know, he was the much bigger man most of the time, massively weight bullying other guys in the divisions that he...
That is why they call him the Mexican Monster. Even people outside boxing notice it. Mike Holston recently praised David's relentless work ethic, saying just watching him train is inspiring. He said seeing a true warrior work every day pushes him personally to stay disciplined and improve his own life. His message was simple: keep knocking everybody out, collect the belts, make the money, and leave the sport clean. Meanwhile, Zurdo Ramirez remains just as locked in. He says he feels calm, prepared, and completely ready for this fight. There are no nerves because he knows the work has already